Okay, hello. So this is my 20th Century Fox slash Universal Trolls 2017 DVD copy. So I recently just rebought this again. I lost my whole entire Trolls collection last year, and I thought, okay, let me at least recollect the DVD side of the collection. um, this will be an interesting video considering that not only is this a old print of Trolls, but this will be interesting from a Trolls fan perspective and DVD collector's perspective. So this will definitely be an interesting one. So a little bit of story background for physical media because I think that's important because I think it shows kind of why this purchase was made to begin with. So when I was younger, I would collect a lot of VHSs and DVDs. Um, but the irony in doing that was I couldn't collect anything that aired on TV a lot because my parents would say this, why buy something if you can watch it on TV? And this was kind of back in the day when you knew, okay, ABC would air oh, what is the block called? Oh, The Wonderful World of Disney, or if not that, then some sort of movie that would air, but it wasn't part of that lineup, since simply because it was like half the time it was like licensed out movies that were under the Disney umbrella, and then other TV networks that would air movies. So why do that? You fast forward to the 2010s and a bit beyond that point into now. Nowadays, companies want to hold on to their movie library. Maybe they'll share a few movies. Um, in terms of linear, non cable TV, you never know when these networks will feel like they want to air a movie. In terms of cable, it's as simple with linear TV. What if you're not home? What if you don't feel like watching the movie? Things of that nature. Not to mention nowadays, what if you don't have a VHS or DVD player that records movies or TV or whatever? Um, so there's that. Um, so that's why I never did that in the past. And now I feel like because of a simple reason like that, and we'll get into TV a little later about Trolls, that's kind of important to own your own copy. Streaming services, they're great, they're amazing, simple, straightforward, simple click of a button, or in some cases, depending on device, your finger. But if not, um, the biggest problem with streaming is it could be there for a month, maybe a year, but then it jumps to a different streamer. And you have the case of, oh, well, what if I don't have that streamer? And things of that nature. So then you have to wait till maybe it'll reappear back on the service you have. Another thing, um, what if you don't have internet access at the time? What if your device isn't charged? Power outage, things of that nature. With a physical DVD, you do not have to worry about that. You know that it's in your curated collection of yours. So that's why physical is definitely important, and we'll talk about those TV Trolls airings a little later because that's also a big factor as to why I own this copy. I definitely enjoy the first Trolls movie, just because of really just three simple factors. One, character design and background design. Two, jukebox musical. And three, it's a very, very simple story. I know that the crew were inspired by other things in terms of character design and things of that nature, but for me, the character designs are very Sanrio, Shrek 1, uh, Craig McCracken, Lauren Faust, mixed with the art style and art direction of MLPG 3. And it gives that vibe. And in a way, I feel like it's kind of like a really like comforting style. And I think that's what Trolls succeeds at is comfort the most. And I feel like its character design very much like shines through that. It's part of the reason why I bought like this version of it is I feel like this is like the most Trolls 2016 you will ever receive. If you don't own any merchandise from 2016, this DVD is, in my opinion, is the essence of what it was like when the first movie came out and the merchandising cycle from 2016 to 2019, what it looked like from the brand. And while the front cover is just the one of the many movie posters that the film had, I feel like this one encapsulates the character design very well. Um, the backside encapsulates the background design very well. But not only that, it feels like a VHS tape in terms of its design. The side having Poppy and Branch on it, the poster overlapping with the side of the cover. It very much has that VHS vibe, and that's kind of why I feel like it has that MLPG 3 vibe to it. Um, and I like it for that. Another reason, jukebox musical. I love pop music. I was introduced. I was introduced to it through my mom just being like, "Okay, we're gonna put on adult contemporary that the station happened to play 80s, 90s, and 2000s music because that's when we were listening around that time." And yeah, Trolls very much fits that, and it fits that very specific niche for me. So that's definitely why I enjoy it. And then the last thing, it's a comfort, very simple movie. It's just a movie about characters finding happiness and discovering it and things of that nature. And I feel like the film exceeds at that, but when you combine all three of these things, I feel like you get a very fun, comforting movie, and I feel like it's why I have it in my collection. Let me tell you, I went to this DVD a lot between 2017 and onward. Um, so it was a very pickup. I knew I want to watch it, put it on, and that is a very specific reason as to why the the, the movie's great, but like I was talking about with the DVD cover, that's why I got it. Just because of the original 20th Century Fox cover, because it very much succeeds at encapsulating the time period in which this movie was released onto DVD for the very first time. If I manage to persuade you into the cover reasons, um, on the back print, I think the side of the where the spine is, I think that's where the 20th Century Fox logo is. So that's a huge key reason why you would want to own this cover or copy in 2025, just because it's the close to second last 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment release of a DreamWorks film. Not only that, the DVD. Something I did not know about it is the disc was created differently uh, depending on the version you bought. Whether it was the standard version, which this is the standard version, I accidentally put the party edition in the in the thumbnail. Whoops, my bad on that one. Um, but each DVD disc was not the same. The standard or the party edition, no matter which version of those two, the disc might either be Poppy or Biggie on the disc. Um, my cover has Poppy on it. I think, if I remember correctly, I think the copy I grew up on, which was the party edition, but they're the same version, just no party edition on the standard. I think it had Biggie on it. I don't think I had Poppy on mine. So it's nice to own a version of the DVD with Poppy on it. So that's very nice and cool. Um, if you were to buy the 2018 print of the film, you would not be getting the character on the disc, which was something 20th Century Fox, I think they did for a lot of their releases, their standard releases. Um, the Universal copy has the colorful disc. I personally don't mind those. I think they're fine, but considering to have the authenticity of its original release, uh, I want in this day and age a character themed disc goes a long way compared to nowadays where discs don't have cool designs on them depending on the company. So I would say this is a plus. But the biggest thing, and probably the reason why you would probably want to own this in 2025, is because there, a couple of years ago, many collectors had stated that um, the 2018 print is very different. It could either be a 20th Century Fox reissue or a Universal completely altogether branded disc. Now, that's not too much of a problem. However, most people had noticed that their copies removed the 20th Century Fox logo from the beginning of the film, not the entertainment logo that appears before the commercials. No, no, no. They removed the 20th Century Fox logo at the beginning of the film, and that's a huge no no for me. One, it isn't the authentic version of How to Watch Trolls when I first saw it in theaters and the home release in 2017, but also at the same time, the intro is very much timed from the 20th Century Fox logo, the orchestral version of the DreamWorks intro that was specific to this movie, and when the scrapbook opens and it transitions into that music. That intro is very important because of music and timing. Removing that is weird, and I've watched the Universal print version from the NBC airings. It always threw me off each time the Universal logo was plastered on top of it. It just felt unnatural to the viewing experience. So, owning an authentic copy and you know you're getting the authentic version, that is very important. So, I'd say that's a big plus reason as to why you would want it. Um, that brings me into the whole physical media thing I was talking about in TV airings.
It's finally here, the night we get to rewatch and relive Trolls with you.
And give you sneak peeks of our next Trolls movie.
Spoiler alert, there are hugs.
Lots of hugs.
So, one of my biggest problems with the TV airing is I haven't noticed, because I grew up on the Disney Channel airing of the film. I'm assuming it's the same version for FX. I never watched the FX version before. I've only seen the Disney Channel version. I didn't notice anything different in the Disney Channel version. So the FX and Disney Channel might be the authentic versions of the film. Then we get into the NBC airings. Let me tell you, I do not like the NBC airing. Like I've stated before, that one has the Universal logo print at the beginning of the film, and it's just, it doesn't time well. Then we have censorship of King Peppy. Yeah, the no troll left behind scene and his butt shows completely censored, which is weird because you would think Guy Diamond and all the jokes that character has would be censored, but no, he is not censored. So that was an interesting choice by NBC. Then we have the most songs sped up. If I remember, the songs that were sped up were Move Your Hair, I think Get Back Up Again, and Can't Stop the Feeling. There may have been a few other songs that were sped up, but the reason why they were sped up is due to commercials. Speaking of Move Your Hair, there's a scene at the end where there's a joke where everyone's heavily breathing because they just performed the whole song. One moment of that was cut from the NBC airing. It felt weird, and it's very noticeable if you've seen them film a whole bunch of times. Another scene that was cut was "Oh, my uncle broke his neck tap dancing once." Scene and line completely cut. And that drives me up the wall because this just isn't the Trolls I know and love from when I first saw the movie opening day in 2016, but also this version of the DVD that I've owned since 2017 till 2024. Um, so, yeah, if you're a huge Trolls fan, I high recommend if you could get a chance to own this copy. Physical collectors, it's definitely a high must. Simply because if you were to own the 2018 reprint, you don't know if you're going to receive that Universal logo plastered on top of the film. I would say that's the only real concern because, actually, believe it or not, the 2018 reprint actually carries the um, the party mode, um, which I might end up getting that reprint just because it has the party mode and I grew up on the party mode, and that was the version I owned, specifically. But I wanted to make sure that I had this copy because it's the most authentic Trolls experience on home media. Um, but yeah, um, started my Trolls collection. I'm gonna be honest with you. After this, owning two and three, I don't have this issue with covers or whatever. I don't care if I get the reprint versions of two and three simply because it's 100% Universal homegrown compared to the original Trolls release. So no matter which version of two and three I own, it doesn't have that problem. So that'll be interesting to see which version of those I will pick up in the future. But this one in particular, this one was I need to get it now before it's out of print.